So the mid-season premiere is coming up. That's super exciting. The first half, we were left with a big cliffhanger. So without giving too much away, what can we expect to see from your characters? Let's start with you, Yvonne.
Tally and Ruth are definitely have a fire under fire in their belly now to really get out, especially after what we saw in the mid-season finale. And so they're actually going to start venturing to find more allies, is what I can tell you. And I don't know if those allies are the best choices.
And what about you, Lenny?
You're going to see Daikon get further into wanting to control everyone in the cult. And specifically after seeing how everyone handled how things were left off on the cliffhanger episode, he's going to want to, solidify his position as well as solidify the strength of the cult. So you're going to see him probably get a little stern, a little harder in certain areas. And then Ruth comes along.
Of course. And Colin, you're new to the cast. Can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yes. So River is he's a smart law school graduate, comes into the cult kind of looking for this next phase chapter of his life, looking for free love, as he says, and ends up kind of having a relationship with the highest. And there's a lot of rumors in the cult about what the relationship exactly is, and I think it challenges the power dynamic a little bit. Keeps Daikon on his toes, which is fun. But you also never know what River's really got going on in the back of his head. You don't know really what his true intentions are. So I think that's going to be exciting to find out.
Oh, well, without giving too much away, you can expect to see Ruth really show that underneath the first, I think the first season showed her more vulnerable and open side. And now you're going to see what it's like when a woman has put her walls up and what happens in that way when she's done that. I think without giving it away, that's a good way.
All right. What about you?
She's going to live up to the ruthless part of her name.
Okay. So
there we go.
Got it.
Yep.
And what about you, Matt? The highest, that's obviously a big role that comes with a lot. What journey is the highest kind of going to go on?
Yeah, we just chatted about this. I'm excited for everyone to see the journey that I do get to go on. It delves a lot more into his psychology and his conflicts that he has with, I guess I could probably divulge women. I mean, we've seen the ceremonies already, right, that he had with Ruth. I think that it showed his sexual ceremonies where, it's pretty clear his vision for women. All of that gets kind of rattled and shaken up in season 2. And so there's certain aspects of the highest that have been lying dormant, that are awakened, that I didn't know existed. Highest didn't know existed. And I think there's a wow factor, a surprising factor, and it was really fun to shoot. I think people are going to be entertained, surprised, excited.
And the show deals with a lot of serious and sensitive subject matters. You all, as a cast, do you find that you really have to lean on each other to kind of get through those really tough scenes and those tough days?
Absolutely. I think that if we didn't have a cast who really respected and understood what it is that we're doing as far as our subject matter, then it would have gone a different way. I appreciate that our cast, we are there for each other. There was a scene where particularly Matt and myself were in, and he made me feel very comfortable. And I don't know if I would have been otherwise, just because it was just like, it's just a lot, it's a lot that we're dealing with. And sometimes when you are giving yourself emotionally, you kind of could just get trapped in that emotion. And I think that when castmates understand the depth that we're all trying to go just to deliver this wonderful piece, this masterpiece that Tyler's created, it helps. It's helpful. Excuse me. It's helpful. So I think we definitely are there for each other. Matt was there for me in a scene, and there's been different scenes with different castmates that I think we all can say the same.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Like from the jump, even the filming season one, yeah, we came together in a way that was like, oh, we're family now. Oh, we're all up in each other's business because we have each other to lean on. We have to have each other to lean on. We have to rely on each other, especially because of the pace of how fast Mr. Perry likes to shoot. You don't get many takes. You don't get but one usually. So the pressure is on, and if you struggle with, at least is what I found, if you struggle with doing it for yourself, when you have someone to lean on, it just makes it so much easier. In fact, I feel like you can do anything when you have someone to lean on. You can do the impossible, and that's what we did. Yeah.
And Matt, the highest is such a sinister role. What was it like? What was your process to really get into the mind of a cult leader? Did you watch cult movies, look up, famous cults that have existed? What was your process?
All of the above. Yeah. It started with a conversation with Tyler, him kind of laying out his vision for the character. And then, he had a list of things that he recommended that I watch, a couple to study, primarily like Jim Jones. I think he pulled a lot from Jim Jones. And then after that, it was just trying to find the truthfulness in why he's doing things. I didn't really see him as the villain. I think all villains are sort of justified in their own mind, thinking that they're doing the right thing. And so the highest definitely has a vision. And so he is just doing what is necessary to fulfill that vision. So for me, it was just kind of like finding the truth there. And then just living in the moment with my co-stars and let the magic happen.
Very cool. I'm very excited to see it. And if I'm not mistaken, you all had to film part of it during this pandemic.
Yes.
So what was that like, having to, abide by all these protocols and still get a show up and running?
We like to call it being at Camp Q, Camp Quarantine.
Okay.
That's what it felt like. As soon as we tested in, and we had to quarantine at home before we went in, as soon as we tested in, there was no leaving. We all lived in these awesome homes that are on Tyler Perry's set. And we would see each other at the food trucks. We would see each other at work. We would get tested every day. Every few days we'd get tested, but then we'd always get our temperature checked. So it was a very great environment, but it's also very safe so that we could feel comfortable filming and doing the work that we had to do.
What is it like working for the great Tyler Perry and working so closely with him as a director, as a creator, and, on his studio lot? What's that like? And that's an open question for anyone.
Well, he definitely is a presence when you're around him. He just, he has so many hats at the same time. He's producing, right? And he wrote it, and he's directing, and he's in charge of everything. So there's a lot of respect that immediately just fills you when you're there with him. But he also is so humble that you really feel valued as an actor on his set. So his integrity and who he is, that that most of the public sees him as, is the same person you meet when you're on a Tyler Perry set.
Mm.
And do you, Colin, or you, Lenny, kind of have any personal experiences with him, or any stories that, you think of and you're like, oh yes, that's so Tyler. That's, a good memory with him.
Go for it, Colin.
Well, I don't know if it's like there's like specific memories, but I just remember throughout the course of shooting, and he would just be cracking jokes, like he would just be like roasting us sometimes, like in fun ways. And it was just like, I think the great thing about working with him is that when you show up prepared and you show up doing your homework, you're given the ability to just play and have so much fun with your character. And he gives actors a lot of freedom to explore, with the words and with their actions. And then it feels very much just like a friendly dynamic, he'll just, I don't know, he'll talk shit and we'll talk shit back, and it's like it's a good time. And I think that also working with him kind of just humanize him a little bit, because I think we put Tyler Perry on this pedestal in our mind, and then just, you know, hanging out with him as a human, it's just like, this is a cool, really, really smart, talented guy, you know, that just is like, is just amazing in what he does.
What do you think, Matt?
I don't know. For the most part, it's a blur. Like it happens so fast, and the man is a machine when he's on set. Like outside of the actual filming process, he's such like an affable, like, you know, approachable, chatty kind of guy. You know, it's just like a friend. But as soon as you get on set, it's like he is moving the process along so fast. So at least I can kind of sit back and appreciate all that he has happening at one time and how efficient he is. Any particular story? Does any jump out to you?
I just think there are a lot. I think that a funny moment would be the fact that we found humor in the Highest trailer, because, you know, the Highest trailer, there's a lot of violent things that happen in there.
There's some darkness.
It's pretty, you know, some darkness. But we found two castmates of ours, Ashley Morgan, who plays Melinda, and then J.L. Clark, who plays, I think his name is Clark in the show, too. It is. His name is J.L. Clark, but it's Clark in the show. They came up with a song, and it's literally like, we're going to the highest trailer. And we just kept, and we like had a harmony, and we just kept like side to side, became a chorus of people in purple robes. Okay. So that was funny.
That was fun. And I hadn't heard it before. They just busted out. And I was like, whoa. Y'all came up with the Highest trailer.
It's the Highest choir. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, there's he likes to like throw lines at you in the middle of your scene sometimes. So he had me saying some really off the wall stuff this past season.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of times where I paused. I was like, "You really want me to say that? All right, cool." And it's
That's happened to me too.
Yeah, it's happening too. Right, ridiculous. So, and then when we finally cut, he'll like, you know, walk to the next spot saying some of the stuff that he made us say, as if he didn't just make us say it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you. You shouldn't have said that. I'm like, well, you just, okay.
I see how it is. Well, I'm totally looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the mid-season premiere and for all those one-liners in there. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Kayla.